I just can't even with this. Look at how pretty this is. There's our first little yellow squash. It is a hot day outside, but I just wanted to come out here and do some videoing and show you what's going on. So this is that tall weed that I was pointing out. I'm 5 foot and this is 5'2", and this is eye level with me. So it's really important to get these pulled up as soon as possible. It's on my list to do. Look at these Snapdragons, which are just stunning. It's the middle of the day right now, so it's hot. So I'm not really gonna do much today, but I did want to show you. This is lettuce. This is what lettuce looks like when it bolts. It gets flowers just like any other plant does, and those will flower out and then it will reseed itself. And if you can see over here, we have a ton of lettuce. This is dill, and this is what happens. This is flowered. The next step is it will go to seed. So, oh, it smells so good though. Here's some more lettuce that's actually bolted. We call them volunteers when they grow where you don't plant them. So I have lots of volunteer lettuce over here. All right. One of the bell peppers that we got, we planted here. And I've been wondering why it hasn't been getting watered. And I'm noticing that the drip, for whatever reason, is all the way over here. And that's why this one is dying. I wonder if Eric noticed that. So we have cucumbers attempting to grow on this trellis here and here, but it is so hot that I don't think I'm gonna get any cucumbers off of these. I'm gonna actually come back through and plant more cucumbers, and hopefully I'll get some in the fall. We have chives, 2 bunches of chives, and then 2 things of dill. Gonna be planting more dill. And then there's our jalapeno. We haven't planted anything down here. That's kale left over from last year. That's just going to seed. And actually, if we come over here and we look at this, you can kind of see here's the kale flower, and here these are the pods, and that's what the seeds grow in. And they'll get very big like that. They'll get quite large, and they're not good for eating. I just tried. So then down here I have 1 winter squash. It looks like another one's coming up. I didn't mark these winter squash when I planted them. We have a couple more squash here. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. And then some morning glories crept in here. And then this is where we planted all those tomatoes the other day, which I guess is the last video, but it's been a couple weeks since we planted those. So those tomatoes are coming in quite nicely. They're taken hold and taken root. So this is what I was talking about the other day when I said in the armpit. See this, how this grows? So you can just take this off. And there's another one right here, so I'm gonna grab that one. And those are what you can put in water, and I'll show you how our last ones are doing. I'm just gonna take a bunch of these off, and I'm gonna sprout them in water because I could actually need them. So like, see here, this one has this one, and then another one's trying to grow off, and another one's trying to grow off. So that happens. I'm just gonna leave this as a 2 liter and let that one go. Yeah, of course I'd be remiss if I didn't show you the hollyhock. We do have some more cucumbers growing here. I think these guys are doing better because they have the shade of all of this lemon balm and bee balm. So that's been really good. Tomatillos. Lots of volunteer tomatillos all through the garden. And then we have some more tomatoes along this trellis. We have some more along here. We have quite a few tomato plants, but just judging by how bad they're looking, I just don't think I'm gonna get a lot of tomatoes. And then we have a bunch of our potatoes are coming in. And I noticed down here, oh, and chamomile. I noticed down here this morning as I was driving in, look at all of these flowers. So potatoes will have a flower and they'll create a fruit, but don't eat it. It's poisonous. Potatoes, you can eat the tubers, but not the fruit. Bell peppers, tomatoes, those are all in the nightshade family. So that's why you'll get a fruit on a potato. It's just so pretty. Looks like we have another hollyhock coming up here. So that's exciting. We have a beautiful mess of weeds, but look, little honeybee likes that. I'm gonna drop these off in the house really quick. And then, well, actually no, let's go over here because these guys will be okay for a few more minutes. So over here, I planted a bunch of sunflowers, and as you can see, they are starting to come up. So we should have a good bit of sunflowers in this row, and then I'm gonna plant some zucchini in the front of this bed because I think my zucchini plants aren't gonna come up. Eric back here planted watermelon and some squash, so we'll get those. We have our corn starting to come up over here, so that's exciting. And then we have a bunch of flowers. I just can't even with this. Look at how pretty this is. We have our walking onions and our garlic. It looks like our garlic is getting ready to harvest actually, which I'm excited about. This warmer weather, I was expecting it. And then look at these guys. My squash plants are finally getting big. We should start expecting a harvest soon. The other day I came out and this guy wasn't looking the greatest, but look, I don't know if you can see, there's our first little yellow squash. You just kind of have to check squash plants all the time once they start flowering, otherwise you're gonna miss the squash that you want so badly. So I'm just keeping an eye on these guys, making sure that I can see. Nothing to harvest yet. And all of our onions. Oh, I gotta come in here and harvest out some onions, it looks like. We'll harvest the rest of these soon. Yeah, all right, let's go inside and look at the tomato that we pulled like this. And I'll show you that. All right. I don't think it's gonna work because this has been inside, like I said, for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now. And the other day I went and checked on this and roots. So anytime you're doing something like this where you're trying to convince a plant that wasn't prepared to sprout, be sure to give it plenty of time so that it has an opportunity to grow these new roots. Do not throw them away. I'm gonna just take these guys, put them right in there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our garden tour. My plans for this week's video kind of got blown up, so I didn't really have a lot, but I have a lot coming. For me, it's Friday. You might see this on Monday or Wednesday, I'm not really sure. So I'll have many more new videos. Anyway, until next time, guys, let me know what you have found in your garden.